That's bad.
Alright, what's up guys? Hope you're having a good day. We are getting back to work on the Mustang here. So, got the wheels back on it, lowered it down, so it's sitting under its own weight. Still haven't hooked up the tie rods yet, waiting on some bushings for the steering rack. Did get some offset ones. I know that's kind of a sensitive topic for some people. But I got some offset poly ones so that we can drop it down a little bit, try and get them a little bit more in line with the A-arms. And I am waiting on a U-joint for the steering shaft. So those should show up tomorrow, and then that'll all be buttoned up. I'm still going to try and reuse the stock tie rods. We'll see how that works. Might have to order a set of those. Those will, if we get some with like a bump steer kit, those are about 90 bucks, give or take. So now we can get back to where we were last week and try and get the motor in place. So you saw that we were using this one for mock-up the other day. This is a junk 6.0 that basically needs to be completely gone through. It spun a bearing and chewed up the crank, so that's junk. But we threw this bad boy together. This is another 6.0 with a BTR Stage 3 cam, Gen 4 rods and pistons, 706 heads, and then we do have a 6.0 flat flex plate with a spacer in between them. That'll allow us to run a Turbo 400 bolt spacing converter and take up the space of the pilot shaft in the converter. So this will now bolt right up to the Power Glide we got over there. So I was trying to fit all those together. I think since we have our new rack in here, I might try those motor mounts I showed you guys a couple videos back. These are just some basic $50 eBay ones. So those will bolt to the block. These will bolt to the plate, and then this will sit down in one of these grooves. Ideally, the engine just sits right down in there. I think that's not going to happen, because I think with these I would need a thinner oil pan. Yeah, both of these have, I think all three of these have the same oil pan now. I'm pretty sure. So what's nice is you can get on eBay or Amazon, but it's cheaper on eBay. You can get on eBay and just type in like 301-1, 301-2, or -3, and you can get the Holley cast aluminum oil pans for like literally a quarter of the price. And if I had gone with either the -2 or an F-body pan, the front of that is a little bit thinner, and it probably would have cleared. I expect it to hit the steering rack, which is why I got those offset bushings for the rack. There is a chance it also tries to sit on the K-member. Hopefully it doesn't. Yeah, just trying to look at where the mounts are in relation to the rack and everything. Yeah, we might get lucky here. But we probably won't, and we'll have to space things all weird. It'd be nice to get it in there without having to do a whole lot of fabrication or anything. And then we can get it bolted up in like stock location. And then we can lift it up and throw the transmission from underneath and not really have to worry about any geometry or anything like that. So I'm going to hook onto the motor, swing it over here, get the mounts bolted on with probably just a couple bolts just to check things. And then we'll start playing it by ear and see what we need to do. All right, so got the motor sat down in place roughly. You can see it's just sitting there. And we are going to have to do something, because you can see this one's 3/4 inch off the mount, and we are sitting on this bitch. We could probably keep it simple and just cut each of these and weld in like an inch plate. So I'm gonna experiment with this a little bit and see what I can come up with. All right, so this is what we're attempting with the motor mounts. So just got done with this one, letting it cool off. When I was welding it together, I had them clamped like back to back to make sure that the bolt holes and everything stayed lined up. So I'm gonna throw this one in the vise real quick, and then I'll probably I might pull a plate off the motor to clamp to this, just to make sure everything stays lined up and smooth, you know. And then we'll start welding it together and try it on the car. All right, got the motor mounts in. The engine is sitting on the chassis. Drop it down to let you guys see. I think it'll be a little bit closer to that, but you can see now we are off the steering rack, so that is perfect. Looks like the mounts, once everything is in place, will sit pretty darn flush with the K-member. Flush enough. They might be on a little bit of an angle just because of how I need the transmission to sit and everything, but aside from that, we're looking freaking great. Could slide the motor ahead a little bit just to give a little bit more clearance around the firewall. Yeah, because right now the bolt is in the back slot. Wink, wink. I mean, it's probably fine here. It looks like there's enough room to for the bell housing bolts, I think. Some of them might be a pain in the ass. We might try and go just a little bit ahead. All right, so got the engine sat in, got the intake on it. I'll show you guys in a second because it looks bad fucking ass. And I've got the valve covers pulled off, painting them to match the intake as closely as I can. But dude, this is a good looking engine bay. Look at that. That looks tough as hell, dude. That looks tough as hell. And like I said, I've got the valve covers over there. They're drying. I was going to put on some Holly covers I've got, but I wasn't sure how well they'd work with the coil packs I've got. So we are probably going to have to cut a hole in the hood. Not the end of the world. It's just a stock SN95 hood. You can get them for 13 bucks at pretty much any yard sale. Plus, if we do end up keeping this car long term, which with us, who knows. But if we do keep it long term, I'd like to go over to single source composites over in, I think, Belleville, somewhere like the Detroit area of Michigan, and pick up a bubble hood for it. I'm pretty sure that he just started making some new SN95 bubble hoods. But yeah, that looks fucking killer, dude. So then I've got to clear out room behind the bumper for the intercooler. We're going to be running that one. I'm pretty sure that is just a VS Racing. Like, it's probably good for like 600-700 horsepower, which is plenty for this thing. We'll have the battery over here. Probably going to use an F-body radiator, perhaps. Those seem to like bolt right in, and they're relatively cheap. And then turbo's going to be over here. Haven't decided yet which orientation I want it to be facing. I was kind of thinking that I want the inlet of the turbo sucking in air from over here, and then I can wrap the exhaust kind of down, around, and out, and then the charge pipe can go basically straight down to the intercooler across Bloom. I might see if we still have the old radiator out of the Camaro just to use as mock-up. If not, I do have the radiator for the Chevelle over there. Although it'd almost be better to get a radiator with the inlet and outlet over on this side to keep everything away from the turbo and the hot side pipes. Because there's going to be the one crossover over here and then the charge pipe. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, I'm super happy with how this is turning out. This looks great. This engine bay probably looks better than the 55s, especially right now. The 55s is so cluttered and dirty right now. The Skylark's not too bad either, but I think just doing the blue over here really makes it pop. So that is sick. I need to get the valve covers back on as soon as they're done drying, because I don't like leaving motors open whenever I can avoid it. Although I say that and the throttle body's not on the 55s. Yeah, and then I need to make the transmission mount. All right, and then some side note good news. The adapter for the O2 sensor on the Skylark just showed up. So I don't know if this O2 sensor is actually any good, but I can at least now buy cheaper O2 sensors because it has the that rounded plug. So I'm going to get this thrown in, and then get that thing finally off the jack stand, and we'll fire it up, see if this thing actually reads correctly, because the old one was just fucked. Alright, got the old girl off the jack stands. Man, this car's good. This is just a good car. I know that I say that the 55 is my favorite. Kind of evidence doesn't show that, considering it's been sitting here for basically 3 years now. Whew, 2 years. 3 years. A long time. And I've also been talking about how much the Mustang's been growing on me, but I gotta be honest, I think this is my favorite car. At least until I get the Chevelle going. Let's make sure we're in park. Yeah, that sensor's no good. Oh well. So good. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, so I am gonna have to get another sensor. Which isn't a big deal. I'll let it get up to temperature. It hasn't ran in a while. Such a good car, dude. I'm so glad that I didn't get rid of it, but that doesn't mean it couldn't be bought. Alright, that's probably a good spot to end the video here. I think in the next one, I might start mocking up things for the turbo kit, just because that's, you know, fun and exciting. I'm gonna go check for the old radiator out of the Camaro, see if we still have that to use as mock-up. If not, like I said, I've got the aluminum one over there. I'm also going to look into one that has the outlets in that outlet, both on the driver's side. And my dad said that he has the transmission mount for the car, so we might not have to make one. Might be able to just modify that to fit our Power Glide, which would be sick. Worst case scenario, if I can just use the mounting ends and then just cut that off, plate it, and then do a tube across, that's chill. We're fine with that. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, clicking that bell to get notifications. I'll see you guys next time.